Right now, you're likely a hostage. You don't see the chains because they aren't made of iron. They're made of dopamine and cortisol. Every time you check your phone for a notification, every time you replay an argument in your head, and every time your heart sinks because of a stranger's comment, you're handing over the keys to your internal empire. You are living in a state of external dependency. Most people never notice how easily their internal state can be accessed by external hands. But there is a way to cut the strings. In the forbidden archives of Noctis Mentis, this is Law 1, the Internal Citadel. It is the structure that determines whether the outside world can reach you at all. But first, you have to realize that your kindness is actually your greatest leak. We are conditioned from childhood to be responsive. If someone smiles, we smile back. If someone is angry, we defend ourselves. We call this being tuned in. In the world of the Imperial mind, we call this a security breach. Think about the social feedback loop. When you walk into a room, your brain is subconsciously scanning for approval. You're looking for the nod, the eye contact, the validation. This makes you predictable. And in the game of power, predictability is death. If I know what makes you happy, I can bribe you. If I know what makes you angry, I can goad you. If I can goad you, I can control you. Most people are reactionary machines. They don't act, they react. They are the second move in a chess game, never the first. You've realized that your sensitivity isn't a gift. It's a remote control you've left on the table for anyone to pick up. But if we stop reacting, don't we just become empty shells? If you don't care what people think, why would you bother being part of society at all? The answer lies in the Interrogator's paradox, which we're about to uncover. Imagine an interrogation room. The suspect is sweating. The detective is shouting, slamming the table, using every external pressure possible. The suspect is reacting to everything. He is leaking information through his fear. Now imagine a second suspect. He sits in the same chair. The detective screams. The suspect doesn't flinch. The detective whispers a threat. The suspect doesn't blink. The detective offers a bribe. The suspect's heart rate remains a steady 60 beats per minute. Who has the power in that room? It's not the man with the badge. It's the man who has retreated into his citadel. This is the paradox. The less you need from the outside world, the more the outside world fears you. We are terrified of things we cannot move. We are terrified of the unshakable. But building this isn't about acting tough. Acting is a reaction. If you are trying to look unbothered, you are still letting the external world dictate your behavior. You are just wearing a mask. The Citadel isn't a mask. It's a structural change in your soul. Most people try to build this through stoicism, but they fail. They fail because they try to suppress their emotions. But suppressed emotions are like steam in a pressure cooker. Eventually, they explode. The Imperial mind doesn't suppress, it reroutes. How do you reroute a feeling as powerful as shame or anger? To do that, we have to look at the architecture of the void. Inside the archives of Noctis Mentis, we study the void. To build your citadel, you must create a space between the event and the evaluation. Most people have zero space here. Event. Someone insults them. Evaluation. I am being disrespected. Result. Anger. It happens in milliseconds. The Imperial mind builds a buffer zone. When an event happens, it doesn't hit yourself, it hits your observer. Think of your mind as a high-security laboratory. An insult is just a vial of chemicals delivered to the loading dock. You don't drink it, you don't smash it, you put it under a microscope. You ask, why did this person send this? What does this tell me about their insecurity? Is there a grain of truth here I can use, or is it just noise? By the time you've finished analyzing the vial, The emotional sting is gone. You haven't suppressed the anger, you've processed it into data. This is where it gets dark. Once you start seeing everyone's reactions as data, you stop seeing them as people. You start seeing them as programs. But if everyone is a program, then what are you? If you are just an observer, are you even alive? This leads us to the most dangerous part of Law 1, the ghost in the fortress. There is a secret reason you haven't built your citadel yet. It's because you are addicted to the validation high. You hate being insulted, yes, but you love being praised. You love being told you're smart, handsome, or successful. Here is the bitter pill. You cannot have the citadel if you still want the praise. Dependency does not distinguish between positive and negative control. Both grant access. If you let a compliment lift your mood, you have automatically given the world the power to lower it. You cannot have one-way walls. The citadel requires a total neutrality. You must treat a standing ovation and a death threat with the exact same level of detached curiosity. This is why the Imperial mind is often lonely. When you stop reacting to the good, people stop feeling connected to you. They will call you cold. They will call you a robot. They will try to find a crack in the wall to make you human again. They will try to use your shadow against you. They will find the one thing you still care about, your family, your past, your secret shames, and they will throw it at the wall like a siege engine. How do you protect the things you actually love without compromising the citadel? This is the final reveal. The secret to law. One isn't not caring. It is having a sovereign standard. The reason you react to the world is that you don't have your own judgment scale. You are using the world's scale to weigh your soul. The Internal Citadel is built on a set of private laws. Law A. I only care about the opinions of those I respect. Law B. I only respect those who have mastery over themselves. Law C. Therefore, the person screaming at me in traffic who has no mastery cannot, by definition, affect my value. When you have a sovereign standard, you become the judge. When someone speaks to you, you aren't waiting to see how you feel. You are evaluating whether their statement meets your criteria for truth. You don't let their reaction dictate your peace. You let your peace dictate their reaction. When they see that they cannot move you, they will move themselves to accommodate you. They will start trying to please you. The power dynamic flips entirely, not because you fought for it, but because you simply refuse to leave your seat. You have spent your life as a guest in other people's minds. It's time to come home. Tomorrow, someone will try to provoke you. It might be a small thing, a sarcastic comment from a co-worker or a slow driver. That is your construction site. Do not respond. Do not defend. Just observe the vial of chemicals. Ask the why. And then go back to your work. This is the first step of the Imperial mind. But the Citadel is useless if you don't know what you're building inside it. Which brings us to law number 2, the law of the silent foundation. Because once you've secured the fortress, you must begin the great work in the dark. Once the Citadel is recognized, it does not disappear. It only waits for you to stop abandoning it. Law 2 will be released when the archive advances.